As you remember, last May, Phillips hosted in its inaugural Geneva auction a theme sale, at the time dedicated to the Rolex Day Date, an amazingly hand-curated theme sale with 100% sold. This coming spring, on Saturday, the 14th of May, Phillips has another very thrilling theme auction in the pipeline, this time dedicated to vintage stainless steel chronographs. The auction is called StartStopReset, and regardless of brand, vintage, style, or even budget, the common denominator is quality, rarity, beauty, what makes a stainless steel chronograph so exciting. We're doing this auction together with our dear friend, the famous scholar and editor Pucci Papaleo. Here's a few highlights that I'm pleased to present to you today, just to give you a bit of a flavor why stainless steel chronographs are just so exciting. The first one here is one of the early manual wound Heuer Autavias from the late 60s. It's a reference 2446, and collectors call it also the Jochen Rindt. It's not Jochen Rindt's personal watch, but Jochen Rindt was photographed wearing this model on several occasions. Heuer, one should know, was really very well spread amongst the grid of Formula One drivers. We know that Clay Regazzoni, we know that also Joe Sifford and many more were wearing Heuer, and that gives these watches that unbelievable flavor of man, speed, petrol, the sound of engines. And this one here, I must say, you can compare it with any other historic chronograph, even a multi-$100,000 Daytona. It's got the black bezel calibrated to 12 unit, a Singer dial in black with 3 white subsidiary dials. It ticks every box. The condition of this watch, look at the bevels. It's just unbelievably crisp. So I think this is a great example and really deserves its place in that epic chronograph sale. The next one is more valuable, more subtle, very rare, the best preserved 1463 stainless steel chronograph I have ever seen in my career. It's retailed by Freccero, who was one of Patek Philippe's most important retailers back in the 50s. This example from 1955 has a two-tone dial, so if you turn the watch in the light, you see how the outer ring has more sort of a satin finish, whereas the center has a very warm cream tone. The case is as crisp as it can possibly be, with fantastic definition not just to the lugs, but also to the bezel. Within the Patek Philippe family of chronographs, 1463 is the only one that has a waterproof case. That means round pushers and screwback. The correct period Gayfrey bracelet and original Freccero signed box complete this watch. Here's another watch that when you look at it for a split second you say this must be the $500,000 Patek Philippe chronograph. But actually it is a Longines. A Longines made with the most amazing caliber 30 CH in 1941, and here you understand why Longines chronographs, in my view, are so undervalued. Large diameter, stunning two-tone dial, beautifully contrasting with the Arabic 12 and 6 and the black hard enamel indexes, highlighted by the foy blued steel hands. This watch is, in my view, a watch that gives all the pleasure and satisfaction a very important museum quality watch by Audemars Piguet or Vacheron can give. And Longines throughout that stainless steel chronograph auction is very well presented. I think it deserves that important position in that auction. A watch that has never been at auction before and is a little bit of a sensation for those who are petrol head on one hand and watch collector on the other hand is that Breitling split-second chronograph oversized case, as it didn't belong to anyone lesser than the 3-time Formula One world champion Jack Brabham. The late Jack Brabham won the world championship in '59 and in '60, and again a few years later in '66, and was the only Formula One driver ever to win on a car that he designed and constructed himself. And that watch, according to his family, with a letter from his son David Brabham, was given to him in 1960 at the occasion of winning the World Championship. Split seconds with Breitling have a long history. They're best known as the model duograph. Here, the model designation has been omitted. I'm very eager to see if the market is as excited as I was when I heard of the existence of this watch for the first time. The last watch that I will show you today is a watch that reunites everything that an avid watch and chronograph collector is looking for. Size, mechanical complexity, maybe a racing history, a great name, a great design. Well, this watch ticks every box. It's the legendary reference 4113 by Rolex, made in 1942 in only 12 examples. We understand that these watches were never made available to the public for purchase, but instead this limited edition of only 12 pieces were given to team managers, racing teams and racing drivers. As a matter of fact, out of the 12, only 9 are accounted for today, so there might still be 3 out there for you to discover one day. But the majority of these pieces that came back to the market over the years have always come from descendants of racing drivers, either in Italy or the UK. Whenever reference 4113 comes to the market, it's an exciting event, because to many, this is the most important and exclusive Rolex reference of all times. The watch has a split-second chronograph that is activated via these push buttons. It's the Valjoux 55 caliber that few know is started and stopped through the coaxial pusher in the crown. With a 44mm diameter, the watch sits enormously well on one's wrist. Despite its large diameter, it's actually quite thin and wearable. I am very happy to have this watch on the StartStopReset auction catalog and hope to see you at the exhibitions around the world, and I would show you this watch in person with immense pleasure.